this time, son, I'm a survivor. I will survive, and I'm a firm believer. We'll forever shine, just to stay alive. That simple means it. Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can hold me sick. I will let alone negativity. Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can. Everybody show me some strength. No weakness, show me a lion power. Strength, no weakness, show them who we are. Strength, no weakness, show me a lion power. Everybody strength, no weakness, show them who we are. And when you roll, your enemies they must tremble. Your enemies they must tremble. Yo, and when you roll, everything has to humble. Everything has to humble. I'm a go-getter. I just go hard, and I'm a kind of fella. Put my trust in God, That simple means it. Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can drain my energy. Nobody can turn me sick. I will not allow negativity. Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can drain my energy. Nobody can. Yo, just show me some strength. No weakness, show me a lion power. Strength, no weakness, show them who we are. Strength, no weakness, show me a lion power. Everybody strength.
Get your PCR tests in 30 minutes or less. Visit www.allprolab.com.
Oh, everything has to humble. Right now, on this battlefield.
Welcome everyone. Welcome to Ride Along Live for this Tuesday, beautiful Tuesday on the outside. Let me bring down my volume a little bit here, guys. And thank you for joining us today because we know it's a festive season. A lot of people are traveling. A lot of people are going somewhere. People are spending time with family. People are just in this nice festive vibe. So, Merry Christmas to everyone. And also, we're here for the entire Christmas vacation, the whole Christmas season. So, we're spending it with you guys, all right? As you're coming, guys, I want you to go ahead and share the program. Rena, Noel, how you doing? Thank you so much for joining us. As you're coming, guys, share the program and say, I share. Everybody put it on a page and say I share, because this program here tonight, I was told by my producer that I probably should get some tissue because it is not easy and it won't be an easy one. All right, so come in and share the program. Let me do it as well. Share it once, share it twice. This is a mother's story, right? Mother sharing her story, what was just taken away from her. And she's here specifically, as she said to me, to assist so this wouldn't happen to our next person. Another family won't have to live with what she lived through. And that's why she's here today. So go ahead and share the program. Let me do that as well. Let me share it over on my page and share it on a few groups. Who else inside? Hey, Donna Rush, how you doing? Thank you so much. Glenda Renee, how you doing? Carla, how you doing, Carla? Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Carla. Yes. Who else? Doug, how you doing, my friend? Thank you so much, and Merry Christmas to you, Doug. Who else? Glenda, I see you. Who else do we have on the ride? The folks on YouTube. How you doing, the folks on YouTube and the folks listening live in New York on 107.9 FM? Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much for watching. Anne-Marie Solomon, thank you so much. A blessed good evening to you as well. Folks are traveling in the pandemic. Make sure that you take all precautions, all right? hand sanitizing and all of that stuff. And I still advise folks to get vaccinated. All right, so let's start. It's going to be a tough one. Tough one for me because I am a parent, and I can't imagine something like that happening to my worst enemy. My guest is again on the program tonight to speak to us about this crime that was committed, where her two daughters was taken away. It's hard to preempt her story. It's hard to listen to her story and don't share a tear. It's just a difficult one. Let's welcome to the program, guys. Her name is Otisha. Otisha, how are you doing?
I'm doing.
All right. Let me play a clip, guys, just to bring you up to speed on the story. Check this out.
Starting off with disturbing news out of Lexington County.
That's right, Darcy, and I'm Andrea Mock. Very sad update now from officials in Lexington County. We'll tell you what we know. 3 people are dead after a shooting earlier today. Now, the Sheriff's Department did confirm that the suspected gunman was, in fact, found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound in his parked car in Richland County later today. Now, no word on how he was connected to the victims. The victims were sisters in Lexington County. The coroner there has now identified the victims as 20-year-old Jamie Green and 25-year-old Jasmine Green. The shooting happened this morning at a home in the 200 block of Woodcote Drive, right near Highway 321 in Gaston. Detectives spoke with neighbors near the home who reported hearing gunshots early this morning at about 9 o'clock. The Sheriff's Department is continuing to investigate tonight.
All right. So this is a story. And you guys don't know. Otisha, again, welcome to the program. How are you doing today? How was your day? How was your day today, Otisha?
It was sad as usual.
Yeah.
Lonely, depressing.
Talk to us about your 2 beautiful daughters. Let's remember them. Let's talk about them growing up and just let's reminisce a little bit about your 2 beautiful daughters. Tell us their names.
My oldest daughter was Jasmine. Jasmine Green. She was phenomenal. Beautiful.
Yeah.
She was 25 years old. She had 2 children, Grayson and Major. She was a wonderful mother. Her whole world revolved around her children. She was like, I have 6 children, and that was like my sweetest child. She was so sweet. She did anything I asked her to do. She was just a beautiful, beautiful person inside and out. Jamie was my other daughter, Jamie Green. Jamie was also very, very beautiful. She was like the mama cat of our family. She was my 3rd born, but it was like she was the oldest. We used to call her little big sister. She was an entrepreneur. She was always thinking of ways to make money for her and Jasmine. Jamie had 1 child, it's Tylee, a little girl. Jamie was like my best friend. We was like best friends, like she was my daughter. And she always respected me as her mother, but we was like best friends. anything that went on with our family, like Jamie handled it. And she was only 20 years old.
As the report read, Lexington County deputies are investigating a deadly shooting on Watcock Drive that left two sisters dead. We're going to talk about this, but it's important that we understand these two individuals, very innocent, young and talented young women, just living their lives, respect their mother, respect their community, respect people. And what was the relationship between your daughter? Was it Jasmine? Tell us the relationship. Was it Jasmine?
Jasmine.
Right. So tell us the relationship with Jasmine and the perpetrator.
Did you say with Jasmine and Tyrone?
Sorry?
I can't hear you.
Sorry. No, tell us the story. Tell us the relationship and what happened there with what happened in that situation, that horrible situation.
That Monday morning, I talked to Jamie about 5 o'clock in the morning because I had to go somewhere. So I left in my car. Jamie's car was broke and Jasmine didn't have a car. Both of them were staying with me. Jamie had just lost her boyfriend. He had just been killed tragically like a month earlier. So she was staying with me because he used to live with her and she was just having a hard time with that. Jasmine was staying with me trying to get away from Tyrone. That was her kid's father. I talked to Jamie about 5 o'clock that morning and she was up feeding Tylee because Tylee stay up all night.
Right.
I had somewhere to go, so I had Ubered to where I want to go so they could use the car. About 8 o'clock, Jasmine took my other daughter Summer to school, and Summer said that Tyrone had been knocking on the door all morning. So he was knocking on the door all morning. He started knocking, must be like maybe like 7:45, and he kept knocking. Once he left, Jasmine told Summer to come on so she could take her on to school. Summer's 12 years old. She said Jasmine dropped her off and looked at her when she got out the car and told her to have a good day. And that if I didn't come pick her up, that she'd be there to pick her up. My daughter, Lateria, she said that Jamie called her about maybe like 9:10 and said Jamie was hollering in the phone saying that Jasmine and Tyrone were in the house fighting and arguing. And Lateria said that on the phone, she heard Jamie ask Tyrone what was he doing in the house because I didn't want him in my house. He had came round by my bedroom. I guess he was trying to see whether I was home or not because he couldn't figure out whether I was home because my car was there, but he didn't see me. So I guess he came around by my bedroom to see was I home. But when he went around there, Jamie was in there. And Lateria said, she was like, what are you doing in here? My mama don't want you in here. Get out of her house. And Jamie and Jasmine were telling him to get out. All of them started arguing. And Lateria said the phone started going crazy. And then it hung up. She said that maybe like 2 minutes went by. And she said the phone rung back. She said, but it was no one on there. She just heard wind. My neighbor said that when I looked at her Ring camera, you could see Jasmine and Tyrone in the yard. And Jasmine was telling Tyrone to leave. She was going in the house to go to sleep. You could see him going back to the car and getting some type of bag. And then at one point he came back out and him and Jasmine were back in the yard arguing. And then he went in the house without Jasmine. About 9:20, someone called me and was asking me what was going on at my house. It was like it's 100 police at your house and they were opening your house off a crime scene tape.
What you doing?
So I like sped to my house. I got there about like 9:30, 9:35, 9:40, something like that. They were laid out in the yard. He had shot Jasmine one time, and he shot Jamie multiple times. When they went in the house was all tore up. The bathroom door had been bust open. There was holes all in the wall. Vases were broken. It was like, you could tell it was like a real bad fight. When I looked at them, when I got to the funeral home, you could tell that Jasmine she was fighting because some of her fingers were broken. But Jamie was doing the most fighting. Her eye was blackened. She had scratches all over her. A lot of trauma. He shot Jamie all in the head. My neighbor across the street heard the gunshots. So he called his mom because she had just left. He's nothing but like 18 years old. His mom turned around and she said when she pulled up, she said that my two grandsons were just standing there looking at their mama's body. They were just staring at Jasmine. And she said she was like begging them to come with her. She was like, come on, it's okay. And they would look at her and then they would look at their mama. She said they finally came with her. I just can't believe it happened. Like we've been putting up with Tyrone mess for years. For years. After he killed my daughters, he went to his aunt's house and the aunt said his face was all scratched up. He had a big knot upside his head. He said he had got into it with Jasmine and Jamie. And he shot him. He shot him. Jamie was just trying to protect her sister. Jamie was tired of Tyrone. The day before they passed, me and Jasmine had got into it because they kept coming around the house arguing, and I told Jasmine, I was like, Jasmine, y'all need to stop. Somebody's going to get hurt. Y'all need to stop it. Stay away from him. I was like, his mind not right. He's obsessed with you. And the next day, they were dead. The very next day. Jamie would do anything to protect us. And I know that's what she was doing. She was protecting her sister because she kept telling me she was tired of Tyrone. She said, Mom, I'm so tired of him. He hit on Jasmine. He terrorized the kids. He won't let her do nothing. He cussed us out. She was like, I'm just tired of him. And I know that morning when he came to the house and she told him to get out, like that was it. That was it.
Where were the kids?
The kids were
When all of
there.
this was happening?
They were there.
The kids witnessed all of that?
They witnessed all of that. My grandson, the other day, he told me, he was like, Grandma. And I said, what's wrong, baby? And he was like, my mom at your house. And I said, she at my house. And he was like, yeah. She laying by the door. She wasted spaghetti sauce. And she won't get up. It's in his head. And it's going to be embedded in there. He's not but 4 years old.
I want to touch a little bit on the therapy and what the kid's going to need. But let's go back a little bit to a motive. Did he have a history, a long history of domestic violence? Is this guy someone that's been out on a crime? Like, what type of person was he? Like, is he crazy, deranged?
He
What
wasn't
happened?
at first. He came
Yeah.
off on us like a regular person, and as time went by, he just started getting crazy and obsessed with Jasmine. Like he just started just going like crazy. Like he was just obsessed with her. Jasmine was just so beautiful, and he turned into a monster. I noticed him start changing about 3 years ago. And I kept begging Jasmine to get away from him. One time, he even called her when she came to my house because she wouldn't come home. And he was like, if you don't come from over there, I'm going to come over there and I'm going to kill everybody in your mama's house.
So he threatened her before. It's something that he regularly did. He threatened her previously, many times before. And I guess she didn't see that as a red flag, but that's... Let's talk about the instances of domestic violence, right? How close was you and Jasmine as far as talking about relationship? Did she ever come to you before and confide in you in situations that he would have had altercations and things that you've done to her in the past? Did you guys have that type of communication?
We did. We talked about it a lot. But she would talk to Jamie about it more, my daughter. Because, it would just make me mad, and I would confront him about what he was doing. And he'd always lie and say he wasn't doing this and he wasn't doing that. He just always lie. He just like, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. And I was like, I know my daughter not lying. You're putting your hands on her, and I'm gonna put you in jail. And I called the police on him like twice, and they did nothing.
What you mean they did nothing? They came there after he beat her up on allegations and threat, and no one did anything?
They
He
just
never got
came,
arrested?
took a report, and that was it.
In many cases of domestic violence, programs that we did here before, we learned that domestic violence don't normally start when someone, man or woman, start to get thumped in the face and cuff and kick. Sometimes it starts from the simple, don't go there, don't talk to this one, or try to keep you away from your support system, your mother, your sisters. Did Tyrone try to separate you from you, or separate her from you,
He
or
did.
separate her from her family, the rest of her family?
I buy the kids like bags of clothes, just because they're my grandkids, and I wanted to help take care of them. And he would throw the clothes in the trash can. Tell Jasmine, we don't need her help. Tell your mama don't be sending stuff over here. I don't need her help. I can take care of my own kids.
Yeah. And the reason, one of the reasons why it's important that you guys watching this program, and it's heavy and it's sad and it's difficult to watch. It's difficult to understand. How could somebody be so, how could that person be so demonic, right? But we're seeing a lot of this happening far too frequently. And oftentimes, the red flags are not being noticed. The red flags sometimes are being ignored. And I know in retrospect, mom is looking back at this and mom is probably saying, if I just did this and if I just did that and if I just said this or if I just said that, probably she would have been here today. Mom, what are some of the hardest reality or the harshest reality to deal with when thinking about this situation? Do you feel guilty? Do you feel away? Do you feel like you could have done more to separate these two?
I just feel like how did this get so out of hand? Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Like, I tried and tried and tried to get her away from him, and I get her with me, and she go back, and then she come back, and I just thought it was like, I just thought it was just like they was young and just needed guidance. I never thought he'd take out no gun and kill both my daughters.
Yes.
I never in a million years thought he would do that.
Yes. And Mohava saying that so many what if, but you cannot leave feeling responsible. You did all that you could do from the outside. You did everything that you could have possibly done. I guess no one would have expected, including yourself, that you would have come to this reality. In terms of domestic violence situation, I know you wanted to talk about this stuff because it's therapeutic and it would help. What are some of the things that women, men that are watching right now could learn from a situation like this? Again, you're here specifically, as you said, so that this situation don't happen to somebody else. What are some of the takeaway, some of the things that we could look for or look at in a person's behavior?
The signs, like when I look back now, the signs right there. Like he was just trying to control Jasmine. He didn't want Jasmine to go nowhere. Everywhere she went, he would show up. The kids always acted scared. Like my grandkids, and I'm so ashamed to say it, but they're so happy now. They happy. Because they was being tormented at home by their daddy and all that hollering and screaming and fighting. And they happy. They ask me about their mama, but they don't say nothing about their daddy. But the signs are there. They want to control you. They want to control your mind. They don't want you around people. And they hate the most people who care about you. And that's why I say he shot Jamie so many times, because Jamie stood up for Jasmine and she was tired of him. That's why he shot her so many times. The abuser usually hates the person who's protecting you. And I don't care what nobody say. He was looking for me too to shoot me because he hated me. He hated me and Jasmine bond. He hated the love I had for her, the love she had for me. He just hated it because he didn't know what love was. And when he found it in Jasmine, And she didn't want to be bothered with him no more because he was so abusive. He couldn't take that.
Yeah.
But the signs are there.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes he would come over to my house and I catch him just looking at me with this look on his face like I hate you. I hate you. Like you love your family, you protect them. I just hate you. And I look at him and he hurry up and look away. But I knew what the look was. I knew what the look was, and I never thought me loving my kids would make somebody so angry.
What kind of, and I know you may not know, or if you do, you could share it with us. What kind of home did he grow up in? Did he have a mother, a father, a family that he lived with that he could confide in? Where? Talk a little bit about this guy.
One of my old coworkers who did his hair, because he had like the twist in his hair. She came to visit me, and she was like, "I can't believe this," and I was like, "I can't believe it either." And she was like, "No, I'm serious," because she was like, "He used to talk so good about y'all," and I was like, "Are you serious?" And she said, "Yeah." She said he used to just talk about how much you love your kids and stuff, and just brag on your family. She said the only bad thing he ever told me was how when he was little, his mom would abuse him because he didn't look like his daddy. No, because he looked so much like his daddy, and his dad didn't want his mom, so she'd abuse him.
Yeah.
And his mom, she never wanted to help Jasmine with the kids. She called Jasmine names. Like she's like, I don't know what type of person she is. Like she's like a demon spawn or something. It's like it rubbed off on her child.
You know, in every instant we see this every time, right? And there is a saying that hurt people hurt people. And I think that even if you look deep into this guy, as you said, his life of being abused is, well, we don't know what else happened to him in his life, and we don't want to suspect it. But it seems as if he was jealous of the good love and good family that his girls had, and somehow jealous. That's why he hated you for being so loving to them.
And I do whatever. I would ask him how he was doing and try to talk to him, and he just always hated me. And I tried to welcome him in our family, and because I knew he was my grandkids' father, and he just didn't like our togetherness. It was like foreign to him. Like he didn't know how to adapt to it.
Yeah. He was scared to be alone. He probably of finally pulling away. Folks, we say this here all the time, right? That we all sometimes see situations when it starts, like from small, and we sometimes ignore the warning signs. But the warning signs start off. I reiterate that again. Got this from a very good friend psychologist. From the minute time someone trying to control your day-to-day behavior, want to control the people that you talk to, want to control as simple as the clothes that you wear, you have to be you just have to start putting your antennas up. we've heard a lot of instances where it started that way, and in the next 2 months, it's kick and tough and thump you're getting in your face. So we need to not ignore these warning signs, but see it and nip it in the bud. But oftentimes, when women and men as well are in this type of relationship, the most difficult thing is to get away from the relationship. Did she ever spoke to you and or her sister and articulated her need to, or her thought of getting out of the relationship? Did she ever utter those words?
Well, that's why she was at my house, because she was trying to get away from him. She had been there for like 2 weeks, but I really didn't know that it was going on again, because I hadn't heard them arguing in a long time. So I was like, I thought she was just there trying to help Jamie with what she was going through. But when I went to pack up Jasmine's apartment, she had to let her lights get cut off and everything. Like, she had done told Jamie and Latoya she wasn't going back home as long as he was there. She was gonna stay with me till he left, and I just didn't know what was going on at that point, because they knew how I was.
Yes.
All of her clothes were at my house. I never questioned my kids when they came back home. Like, if they come home, they just home. Like, I'm not.
Yes.
And like the last 2 nights she was there, she slept so good and peacefully. I would ask the kids, where y'all mama? And they'd be like, she's upstairs asleep. She was tired.
Yes.
She was tired of a monster.
Yes. Were there instances of financial abuse, emotional abuse? Well, I'm sure there's emotional abuse. There's emotional sometime before the physical abuse sets in. But did you sense that he was controlling her to stay based on finances or a place to be, or knowing that, probably telling her, you can't go back to your mother, you can't go back to your sister? Did you get any inclination or thought that he was sort of financially abusing her?
He knew that whatever was going on with them, like if it was concerning bills or anything, or like I would take up the slack, because I'll never see my kids or my grandkids going without. So like if a bill need paid or something like that and Jasmine asked me to do it, I was gonna do it, because I always wanted to help my kids. They was young. They were not but in their 20s going through life. Just wanted to help them.
Yeah. All right, let me open up the phone line, take a little break a bit. Just for anyone that wants to call in. Again, Otisha is here to speak to everyone, so that what happened to her daughters wouldn't happen to anyone here. That is therapeutic for her. She feels that by speaking about it is going to help people. And I applaud you for building the courage, because believe it or not, this didn't happen a year ago. This didn't happen 2 years ago in November. So this is pretty fresh. So even I spoke to my producer earlier today, and I was telling her, I said, do you think that it is she could handle, speaking about it. And I even spoke to you and I asked you the same question, and you wanted to do this. And again, I applaud you, because I think that as much as you're helping people, you're also helping yourself getting all of this out. So I want to feed back into you some strength. So I want some folks to call in right now. This is the number 718-701-5720. Let's pour back some strength into Otisha, because she went through this stuff. This happened November. This happened a month or so ago. And the mother is living through this in real time. So give us a call, 718-701-5720. We're talking about when domestic violence goes completely wrong and bad. A monster in their home. Well, he wasn't living in the home. The daughter had moved back into the mother's residence for fear of what this monster would do. Her sister, who's always been protecting her, the news report was that he came in with an altercation, shot the daughter in the head, and he shot her sister multiple times. Worst case about it is, it was all done in front of the kids. The kids witnessed it. And this is a harsh and sad reality, because the kids will never forget this for as long as they live. This is a terrifying and terrible fact of the matter. All right. The mother, as you can see, is terrified about it, but she built the strength to come on this program to share it with you guys. So give her a call, please. I'm begging for the folks that's watching. I know it's hard to watch, and some people who actually been through domestic violence situations before, who wants to speak about it, because it's all about each one help one. Give us a call and let's talk about it. So you are basically helping the next sister or the next brother behind you. All right. While we wait on the call, Otisha, how are the kids today? Do they act different? Do they? You see anything that you could tell that they psychologically affecting them because of what they saw? All right, we lost the video. We're gonna get her back. All right, if you're hearing me, just drop back out and come back in. Are you hearing me? All right, go back out and come back in. Go back out and come back in, and you get the audio back. All right, go back out and come back in, Otisha. All right, 718-701-5720. Speaking to the mother right here. Terrible story, but I really wanted to break it to you guys. I really wanted to bring it in, so everyone would see and understand and hear for their own self. All right, 718-701-5720. Come back out. Go back out, Otisha. Go back out and come back in. You can hear me? All right, you're back. All right, Otisha, you can hear me? All right, so she's gonna come back in and take some of the calls. Listen, I beg, I plead, I ask so many times for people who are going through situations like this. Now, it's not easy to just say, well, just pick up and walk away. It's not easy. There are strategies, there are ways in how you have to implement this thing here. And there are a number of organizations and groups that we could refer you to specialize in helping women strategically getting out of the women and men strategically getting out of the domestic violence situation. So if you guys, anyone here have an issue of similar and you want to get out, contact us and we'll put you in touch with a group who will be able to assist. Are you back with us?
I am.
Okay. How are the kids doing psychologically?
You said how are the kids?
Yeah, how are the kids doing psychologically after they witness this terrible act?
They witnessed it, but they happy. That's what I can't. They happy now. Like they used to be like little scared kids. Like they wouldn't really. They just cling to their mom all the time. They always had like a scared look on their face, and I'd always ask them, "Are they okay?" They look at me with like little teary eyes all the time, and they just always look scared. They didn't act like little kids, but
Right.
now they do. They ask for their mama, and I tell them their mama went to heaven. They never ask for their daddy. They don't say nothing about them. And my youngest daughter, my 1-year-old granddaughter, she whined all day and night asking for her mama. Because she's only one. She don't understand. She was asleep when it happened. She was asleep during the whole thing. The police went in the house and got her out of the bed and brought her to me.
Yes.
But I am going to get them some therapy because I know it's embedded in their heads what happened. They was there, they saw it.
Yeah.
And I know as they get older, they're going to keep asking me questions about where their mama said.
Yes. Yes. Someone is saying that it may not affect them right now, but maybe later on in life, they will have to go to therapy. So I think therapy is important, especially for these kids psychologically. Anyone, and it's not something that they'll forget. You'll think that they were young kids and they might forget. It's not something that they will forget. They might be playful now, but as you said, I think therapy is necessary at some point in time. Patricia, what advice coming from you? You're the mother. You've been through it. You live into this. What advice do you have for some of our viewers or viewers that are watching that might be going through something kind of similar? What would you like to say to them?
Like, it's real. This is like a real ending to criminal domestic violence. It was like a finale of what we have been going through for 5 years. Like, it came to a head. And if you're going through it, let somebody know. Stop accepting things that you know are not right. Nobody's supposed to be controlling you physically, emotionally, mentally, and especially if they're putting their hands on you. Because the more somebody put their hands on you, the more something devastating could happen.
Yes.
Or the more you can get that unlucky lick, or the more their mind could just snap and pull out a gun like Tyrone did and kill my babies. You just never know where somebody's mind at. You can't read minds. But when they give you them signs, the controlling, the abuse, the emotional abuse, popping up where you at, questioning you all the time, always want to be where you at, don't want you to work, don't want you around your family, don't want nobody loving you but them, that's it. Those are the signs. Get away from them. They are going to hurt you or somebody around you because they're going crazy and they need help.
Yes. Yeah. So I hope some of the viewers that's watching taking heed to what she say. She is probably the best person that could give you that advice right now because she's living through it. And I'm not saying for people who are going through it right now to pack up your stuff and just leave. That's very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. And you don't want to tell the person or confront the person and let them know that you're going to leave either, because that's dangerous as well. So there are strategies. There are people who are specifically able to deal with situations like that. So if anyone is in a domestic situation and you are seeing it happening, it's transposing, it's getting into that phase where you already passed the phase of you can't wear this, you can't do this, you can't talk to this. Stop talking to your mother. Stop talking to your sister. Your sister don't like you. That's why your mother don't like you. If this sounds familiar to you guys, if this sounds familiar to anyone, man as well as woman, be very wary because you may be in the start of something very, very dangerous. You might be in the start, so you have to nip it in the butt. Nip it in the butt, and it's important to nip it in the butt, because if you just prolong it and let it continue, it will continue. It will continue. It will continue, and it will continue. This is a sad and harsh end to a situation, a story, young life taken too soon. And mom, you don't have to feel guilty about this, because you did everything that you could have done. You did everything that you could have done. And you will be forever blessed for being a mom. But you could not have saved them at this time. This monster, he was a tricky one. But don't blame yourself. Don't continue your life blaming yourself. Get the kids and them some therapy. I think is important. And continue your therapy, because speaking about this stuff, I saw you on other show as well. And I think that it was good. And I think that it is good that you speak, that you share these stories. Because as much as it's powerful to stop someone in a domestic violence situation right now, it's also therapeutic and helpful for you. So I say thank you so much for sharing your story with us, as difficult as it might be. Any last word before we wrap up?
You told me the same thing my son said. We were talking the other day, and I told him I just feel so guilty about what happened. And my son is only 17 years old, and he said, "Mama, you did everything you could do." He said, and he backdoored us. He tricked us. He tricked us.
Yeah.
He was a monster. He tricked us, Mama. He said, "Don't you ever think you did nothing wrong."
That's right. That's right. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't do anything wrong, Mom. And my heart is with you and the children, the family. It's a terrible, 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 tragic loss. And I pray that you guys stay together and get through this together. And you have all of our support here on the Ride Along team. We have folks here that could, if you need to speak with, we do have folks on staff that you can talk with at any point in time. But know that you have people here that are here for you, right? If you need someone to speak to at any time, we are open air. Mom, we appreciate you coming and chat with us. You saved a lot of people today. I know it. People that's watching right now, women that are watching, they probably sitting there and they be like, you know what? I need to do something about my situation. Some people sitting there right now, I could bet you, watching this program or will watch this program on the replay. And they'll say, you know what? I saw this lady on Ride Along and she was so cheerful and she expressed her story of what happened to her, how her situation gradually changed from being a sweetheart, from not so sweet, and then being a monster. The transformation of an individual. And if you, in the primitive stage, nip it in the butt, because there are warning signs, those are red flags. Don't ignore those red flags. Mom, we thank you again, and we'll keep in touch. We appreciate you, and have a great night. Thank you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Come on.
All right. Yeah, guys. You see that's why we say here and Ride Along, right? That everyone have a story to tell. Everyone have a story to tell. That was our mantra from day one. Because we believe when someone share their story, when someone speak about their experience, you wouldn't believe how much people behind them that they helped. Someone just text me. And they said, thank you so much for doing this program. They are in a situation where they need to get out of, and they need advice as how to get out of the situation. They're in a financial and emotional abusive state right now. And he hasn't gotten into the physical as yet. But she expressed that she's been threatened about physical disabilities that could happen to her, and how if she ever planned to leave him, he would do whatever he can to make sure that no other person ever like her. Well, that's a serious threat. And we're going to get this person someone to speak to. But guys, we say it a lot here. Sharing your stories help others. Everyone have a story to tell. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for caring. That's why we're here. We urge everyone to be a good friend. And you have to be a friend. You have to be a friend, the best friend, like how you would want someone. You have to be the best friend, the better friend. Right? You have to be there to listen. You have to be there to just listen. Sometimes that's all people need sometimes, just a listening ear. They don't need no money. They don't need nothing else. Some people just want a listening ear. And that could save a whole lot of lives. Thank you guys again on behalf of our producer, Lois JJ. Our moderator, Kibbs, Deanne Fraser, and Gail. We say thank you guys so much. Tomorrow, we have an interesting program lined up for you guys. I want you guys to come and check it out. Before we wrap up, I got to tell you guys quickly to be very, very careful of that new variant called Omicron, right? We've been hearing that right here in the US, that's the dominant strain. A lot of people are getting sick because of the Omicron variant. And if you're traveling or if you're having family members over, guys, we urge you to be safe, right? Be safe. What they're saying is that unvaccinated are getting hit even harder by this variant. I mean, to get vaccinated or not is a personal choice, right? But speak to your doctor and find out if that choice is right for you. At the same time, it's important to boost your immunity. The vitamin C, the zinc, all of these things are still important and necessary, right? A depleted immune system is a breeding ground, and it's even a welcome sign for some of this, not only viruses, but all sorts of things. So the stronger your immune system, you're better able to fight away all of these bacteria and viruses that's around. So we've been seeing record number of people getting tested for COVID-19, and a lot of people need to travel. So if you're traveling somewhere and you need to get a COVID-19 test, right? We're partnered with All Pro Health Labs. All Pro Health Labs just came on board to announce that they're going to be offering special rates if you need quick, rapid PCR tests. That's a PCR test. If you're traveling to countries right now, you go to Flatbush Avenue or any place, and you see the lines are long, and it takes sometimes 4 days to get your result. This All Pro Health Lab, you will get your results in as little as 30 minutes. In as little as 30 minutes, you could get your PCR test if you're looking to travel. So call them right now. The number is 516-387-4246. That's 516-387-4246. Or go to allprolab.com. That's allprolab.com. You could book an appointment right on there. They even come to you if you can't make it. So no, they're based here in New York. So if you're looking to get a PCR test to travel and you need it soon, 30 minutes, give them a call at 516-387-4246 or check them out online at allprolab.com. That's allprolab.com. Also got to tell you about this, that TravelSpan is offering this big Caribbean throwback getaway. That's in Punta Cana, the Dominican Republic. So you call TravelSpan and book your getaway. It's August 4th to the 8th, 4 days in Punta Cana. Call TravelSpan at 0865. That travel span at 212-243-0865. You want to get away. It's a lot of stress, a lot of trauma, a lot of headaches. You want to give travel span a call at 212-243-0865. That's travel plans, travel span. They're going off to the Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic. We got 2 commercials to run, and we come back on closing words. The move.
Hello there. Let me introduce you to the Nutmeg Band. Playing in the background is the latest release, Take Me to a Party.
Take me to a party.
This music is now available on leading online stores. So please, pick up your copy today and tell all your friends about it. Get your copy now.
Take me to a party.
Williams Funeral Service serve you with dignity and compassion as you mourn. Every day, we embark on the journey of life, and one day, the journey will end. It's on that day that you can entrust the celebration of life of your loved ones to David Williams Funeral Service. Call 718-291-3823.
Get your PCR test in 30 minutes or less. Visit www.allprolab.com.
Again, guys, thank you so much for joining. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys again tomorrow right here on Ride Along Live, where everyone, yeah, we do mean it when we say everyone, have a story to tell. Good night.
Feeling hungry, grab a snack.